Am I the butthole for saying my babysitting rates are $35 an hour? I'm a software engineer, with a full-time job and a side hustle of doing freelance coding work in my own time. I've always been the type to have a side hustle I put a lot of my free time into. I get really bored sitting idle. My freelance hourly rates are $60 an hour, and at my full-time job, my hourly pay works out to about $40 an hour. So that's how I value my time. Anyway, over Christmas vacation, I was staying at my parents' house. My cousin was also staying over with her 3 young kids from Christmas to New Year's. I'd been planning on doing some work on my freelance projects when I had free time, in the mornings when my family had no plans. I wasn't in any rush, I was already ahead of schedule on them all, but I didn't really have anything else to do. It was in a really rural area and it's like an hour drive to the nearest anything. Then my cousin and her husband asked if I could babysit all day for 3 days, so they could visit some friends in the area and hang out with just adults. I said I had planned on doing freelance work at the library, and she offered to pay me to babysit. I said I could if they got close to my freelance rates. She wanted a number, and although my freelance rates are $60, I didn't feel like that was right, it was high. But I didn't want to go too low. Honestly, babysitting 3 kids would be harder for me than the routine coding work I had for my freelance project. I don't know a lot about kids and I've never babysat for long, and I had a feeling it would be stressful and difficult. So I said $35, which is below what I make hourly at work, and what is the bare minimum I'd value my time for, if that time is spent doing difficult work. And she went crazy at me, saying that's a ridiculous rate for babysitting, that I was entitled and being selfish, that I'm trying to take advantage of how she didn't have other options, etc. I said that's way below what I'd be making if I had the time to do my own work, and I'd be putting off my own work to babysit. Her husband then got mad at me saying that I was a 24-year-old girl, that I'm damn near a child myself, that my time is not worth that much and it's childish to say that it was. And that I was a stupid girl for not knowing that babysitting costs like $15 an hour. When I grew up and have kids of my own, I will see how stupid I was being. I was kind of done with being called stupid, so I just told them I hope they could find someone else. My mom thinks that I asked for something offensive, and my cousin and her husband obviously did too. Am I the butthole for giving that number? NTA. 3 kids all day, for 3 straight days? Even real babysitters would charge more than $15 for 3 kids. Obviously they wanted you to do it as a favor, and got upset that you treated it as an actual job. Plus, there's some blatant sexism going on. You're a stupid girl for wanting to be fairly compensated when you're asked to put aside your job for 3 days for their convenience? You're a stupid girl for not leaping at a chance to take care of 3 kids for free for 3 days? They're nuts and don't deserve ops generosity. Also some ageism. I charged $20/hour for babysitting 3 kids when I was in junior high, circa 2004 to 2004-2007, in Canada. Me thinks the parents are the entitled and selfish ones for feeling entitled to triple childcare at nearly minimum wage. Edit, fixed date range. I babysit my nieces for pizza and beer, but they're the cutest, most delightful girls on the planet. I wouldn't babysit any other kids at any price, laughing out loud. I do the same, but that's for like a couple hours of babysitting while my sister and her husband go to dinner or something. Not 3 whole days. I was a nanny in college, 12 years ago, and made $14/hour for 1 kid. $15 for 3 kids is a definite favor. Yeah, not the butthole for sure. If they wanted to bank on using your time for 3 straight days like that, they should have reached out to you and arranged it ahead of time. Thinking they have a right to tell you how to value your time or how to spend it because you are young is such complete BS. One day over the holidays, I could see making a kind gesture to watch the kids at a low rate. 3 days/3 kids is a big ask. I'm not even sure I would survive. NTA. If they really wanted to go away for 3 days, they should have arranged a sitter in advance. The husband saying you're a 24-year-old girl, by the way, you're a woman at 24, and your time isn't worth anything is ridiculous considering you'd get paid $60 an hour if you don't babysit their kids. The husband sounds like a sexist dick. Plus you told them you wouldn't babysit if they couldn't approach your rate. You probably should have just said no from the start, but you did inform them that it would be expensive. Don't worry about it too much. Obviously, Babysitting ya a girl's job. Shaking my head. He has no idea how much her time is worth. Good on original post for setting her value high. Neither Op's sister nor her husband have any idea how much her time is worth. Don't leave the sister out on this. Definitely agree. Inherent sexism from both. Cousin. I read that part and immediately assumed original post makes more than him and he just can't deal with that fact. Not just that, but he has 3 kids to support too. Probably envious AF at Op's disposable time and income. I really wonder if they had responded the same if original post were a guy. I suspect they would much sooner believe a guy if he would tell his hourly rate. And they would obviously never have expected a guy to babysit for 3 days. Let's be real. They wouldn't have asked a guy in the first place. They both sound like effing buttholes. Her husband then got mad at me saying that I was a 24-year-old girl, that I'm damn near a child myself, that my time is not worth that much and it's childish to say that it was. And that I was a stupid girl for not knowing that babysitting costs like $15 an hour. They're basically saying her pay stub isn't true when we're dealing with facts. Man, the effing irony of them calling her entitled. And that I was a stupid girl for not knowing that babysitting costs like $15 an hour. Yeah, per kid. Which comes out to $1.45/hour. I don't have kids so I wouldn't know, but isn't there a premium too when the duration is something ridiculous as all day for 3 days? Hell, I'd expect a premium for something like 8 hours versus 4 hours, let alone all freaking day. The point is, what she asked actually isn't unreasonable. The only ones being unreasonable asshats are the parents. Can't wait to see what their children grow up to be like. Well, he probably made way less than her when he was 24 years old. I think he is just jealous about her being rather successful at a young age. I mean, hell, $60 an hour is a good chunk of money. NTA, you should have just gone your ways after they started to whine about the pay. $60/hour is more than twice the average household income. Freelance work is hard to gauge on a standard scale. She has to pay for all her own hardware, software, hosting, account for taxes and wear and tear, admin tasks. And it's not guaranteed that you'll have work full-time 40 hours/week. $60/h is actually a fairly average rate. I was just going to say that, plus it doesn't include benefits. Benefits are an enormous cost, especially health insurance. We pay contractors more per hour than employees because we don't need to cover their benefits. She says that her actual rate at her full-time job is $40 an hour, which is still great but ends up being in the $83K range. That does not justify the cousin's husband's remarks. It makes him TA. I didn't state any kind of opinion. Well, he probably made way less than her when he was 24 years old. He probably makes less than her to this day and will continue to for a long time, if not his entire life. Assuming Op's summary is accurate, this is blindingly obvious. People who ought to be ahead of you in life really hate it when you're more successful than they are, or were at the same point in their lives. My dad still can't help but mention that I'm making more money than he was before he retired a couple of years ago. Although he doesn't mean it in a bad way, plus he's well aware that he had like 5 other forms of income at that point. I think I made $17 an hour at 24. I'm 28 now and still make half what original post makes with a effing master's degree. I'm a little jealous just reading it, haha. He's still TA though for sure. Computer science is the way to go, kids. That my time is not worth that much and it's childish to say that it was. I'd have been like, well, people pay me that much for my time, so clearly it is, and be done with it. Well, people pay more than that for my time. I was giving you a 40% discount. Extremely sexist of him to say that. I am sure he is still in disbelief as to how she makes that much. Yeah, I'm guessing original post might even make more than Dad. I'm pretty damn sure she does, which would likely piss him off even more, because he feels embarrassed a mere girl makes more. I think the husband is jealous of how much original post makes, so he's trying to make her feel crafty. They could have hired an actual teenager and brought them along to mind the kids, even. They completely took original post for granted. NTA, and she went crazy at me, saying that's a ridiculous rate for babysitting, that I was entitled and being selfish, that I'm trying to take advantage of how she didn't have other options, etc. I would have bowed out immediately and told her to have fun dealing with no options. Her husband then got mad at me saying that I was a 24-year-old girl, that I'm damn near a child myself, that my time is not worth that much and it's childish to say that it was. And that I was a stupid girl for not knowing that babysitting costs like $15 an hour. When I grew up and have kids of my own, I will see how stupid I was being. Yes, what a stupid girl you are for knowing what your time is worth, rolling eyes face. Right? I love how they tried to guilt trip her with the "I have no other options" line, as if they're facing some kind of unexpected emergency and really need ops help in this situation. What a bunch of bull. They just wanted to go out and party with their friends for 3 days straight and thought they could take advantage of original post and just dump their kids on her while they lived it up. They expected her to drop everything and give up her vacation so they could have a spontaneous vacation of their own, entitled laws that they are. Right? I am so grateful when a family member watches our son for a couple hours so we can go out to dinner or something. But I have never asked for it nor expected it, just accepted when it was offered. And then I feel guilty the whole time I'm out and hoping my child isn't giving them a horrible time. I can't even understand this level of entitlement. Don't have 3 kids if you want to be able to go do whatever you want for 3 days? I just can't with these people. It's okay to ask family for help, you don't need to feel guilty. I feel privileged when I'm asked to look after my niece, and I love spending time with her. I also have a 1-year-old, and understand the need to have some adult time occasionally. You're not a bad parent for asking for help sometimes. The bad parents are the ones reacting like an ops post. I have no other options. In that case, it's $80 an hour. Seriously, if they wanted to go out for 3 days straight, they should have planned something out rather than just showing up at the house and demanding that original post watch their 3 children. Like, what would they have done if nobody even within the family had been able to babysit? Original post definitely has the right to say no, especially after they tried to cheap her on money. I have no other options. I suspect I have no other options is more along the lines of no other options they are willing to pay for. They somehow have 3 book days lined up, but babysitting is the part they don't have covered? They clearly were simply looking to take advantage of a family member. Yep. Classic case of lack of planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. If they want to be salty about it, they can pound sand. You know, they wouldn't have even thought of this plan if original post had been male and said he planned to work. I know exactly how much my time is worth. Now, how much is it worth to you to have 3 days without kids? Is the question. And what a stupid girl for having technical knowledge that earns her more pay than babysitting, shrugs. Does original post know if she earns more than the husband? It would take all my strength to not be a smartass and send a message to them of something like, "I'm sorry how things went the other day." Once you are somewhere where your skills are more desired by an employer, I'm sure you'll be better able to assess the value of a person's time. Until then, it is presumptuous and childish to assume someone's worth based on their age. To be frank though, I'm willing to be a butthole right back, cause this type of crap where a group of people gangs up on someone, basically because they have self-worth, is enraging to me. Yes, you should watch a Netflix movie and chill out, Greta. NTA. A. If they need a babysitter that badly, they should have arranged for one in advance. B. You're being asked to babysit 3 kids. 3 kids is a lot of work. $15 sounds kind of absurd to me. C. You have your own life and an actual job that you would be neglecting, or freelance at least, that is worth almost double that amount. D. The only offensive ones are your cousin and husband who started calling you names when you didn't bend to their will. $15 an hour for 3 kids is $5 per kid. Which is what I charged as a 13-year-old back in 1994. And that was just my 4 hours or less rate. I charged more if I was expected to do all day for multiple days. They're being completely ridiculous. Edit. I forgot what year it was when I was 13. My perception is skewed, I guess. I babysat as a preteen and got peanuts. But my mom knew their mom and kind of told me discreetly that they really didn't have a lot of money and I was helping the mom get to work by babysitting in the mornings. I did it more out of kindness and friendship than actual desire for cash. If ops siblings had approached her asking nicely for a favor, rather than as condescending buttholes, I'd have a different opinion on the situation. I did it more out of kindness and friendship than actual desire for cash. I doubt you were also having to forego plans of making $60/hour during that time. Improper planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. A freelance job is still a job. When you're a freelancer, people act like you have unlimited freedom to not work whenever they need you to do some crap for them. What they fail to realize is that if you don't work, you don't get paid, and if you're chronically unavailable to accept work, your client might choose someone else to do it in the future. You don't just get to take a vacation whenever you feel like it. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.